pledge love and loyalty to be country salo. My how we there, my how we born. We sweet salo. We not for make this country fall. Mama salo.
A critical awakening in Sierra Leone. The unintended lessons of Julius Maada Bio's presidency. When Julius Maada Bio became president in 2018, he promised a new direction, focused on education, justice, unity, and inclusive development. His eloquent speeches inspired hope in a nation hungry for change. However, as his presidency has unfolded, a different story has emerged, marked not by fulfilled promises, but by deepening economic hardship, growing insecurity, and widespread public disillusionment. One of the most alarming developments under Bio's leadership is the rise of Sierra Leone as a hub for drug trafficking, particularly the spread of Kush, a dangerous synthetic drug. This substance is destroying lives, especially among the youth, and has overwhelmed families and communities. Allegations of official complicity and ineffective law enforcement have led many to describe Sierra Leone as evolving into a narco state, where criminal networks thrive alongside weakened state institutions. Economically, Sierra Leone is trapped in stagflation, a combination of high inflation and low economic growth. Prices for essentials such as food, fuel, and transportation have soared, while wages remain stagnant and youth unemployment continues to climb. The government's reliance on donor funding and external loans has not translated into local economic empowerment or job creation. Many citizens are now forced to make painful choices just to survive, eroding trust in state leadership and exposing the limits of government policies. Public services have also deteriorated. The much-publicized free quality education program suffers from overcrowded classrooms, unpaid teachers, and inadequate resources. The gap between the government's promises and the lived reality of the population has grown ever wider. Despite this grim outlook, a new form of awareness is emerging. Across the country, especially among the youth and professionals, there is a growing sense of political consciousness and civic engagement. Citizens are becoming more vocal, organizing protests, and demanding accountability from leaders. The protests in 2022, though marred by violence, reflected a collective demand for dignity, justice, and meaningful governance. In this context, President Bio's greatest legacy may be the unintended political awakening of the people. His administration's failures have taught Sierra Leoneans to think critically about leadership and governance. They are learning that true development must be people-driven and grounded in action, not rhetoric. This rising consciousness may yet become the foundation for a more accountable and citizen-led future for Sierra Leone.
Yes. Humble them on a good evening, on a good afternoon, good day, wherever on a day. Afumami. Napiari, sekenu. Mondesia bele. Duana, kawiena. Today, we are coming to examine, we can examine a lot of critical things them about how we country day and what's in the go on our country. You see, since 2018, we country don't go through a number of crises. We can blame as much as we want. We can curse as much as we want. We can talk as much as we want. But if we not try to understudy and understand what's in the go on our country, what's in the be so get for lead we to a pathway not good for we. What's in the be right now in Sierra Leone, it get for take we to a level we're not good for we all. It no matter whether you know APC, you know SLPP, you know whatever you think you are, Limba, Lokok, Timni, Mende, Kuranko, whatever. One of the things we lead with us how we do so today And the fact that since independence, we not sit down quietly for ask we self, wetin dey go on, wetin we for do, how we for do am. Instead, we fall on, we fall foot, we have up. Some man have up on God, some man have up on with man. Well, of course, the other thing is, we have up say, if we camp and come, we go run come to other people in country and can make a living. So all this while, we lay down or we sit down, we relax. Now we don't reach a crisis point where it only go show to people them how they think and understand things critically. I want to bring this to the notice of all Sierra Leoneans. The pathway Sierra Leone they right now is not good for nobody. It's not good for SLPP. It's not good for APC. It's not good for Timini. It's not good for Mende. It's not good for Limba. It's not good for anybody. It's not good for me. It's not good for any one of us. Because back in 1990s, when the war been start, when man named Kaplan, he be write an article on failed states and point them to Sierra Leone, say Sierra Leone a failed state. Honestly, before that war starts na Sierra Leone been stronger. Sierra Leone been difficult because I've been there. I did it up to 1998. But Sierra Leone was never a failed state as we have today. Everything in Tiranga na Sierra Leone, but at least we will get water supply. Everything in Tiranga, at least, not regularly, but once in a while, we they get electricity. Yes, we know the prices been they go up every day. But for make we reach the level, we don't reach now. When nobody not care about standards, nobody not care about ethics, all man just they do elect. Let's Sierra Leone, now a new Sierra Leone to most of we. Especially we were been up to the late 90s when the war don't reach a height. And after we left there, we don't go back. What we see that a different place from what will be used for now. And if we for be honest about what's in the go on our country, since independence, we have had only two political parties rule Sierra Leone, SLPP and APC. You see, every time I can feel funny why people and they argue between SLPP and APC. Every time when people argue about who did what, this they blame this they blame this. For being honest, the two political parties will take equal blame. No matter who that don't rule Sierra Leone the longest. APC take over 1968. By then I was in the secondary school. APC ruled Sierra Leone up to 1992. By then, I was working or had been working in Sierra Leone for over a decade. Before 1968, now SLPP been the rule Sierra Leone. After 1992, SLPP ruled up to 2007. Then APC take 2007 to 2018. Yes. Quantum by length of time, you will correctly say APC don't rule longer than SLPP. But if we take them in terms of the people them who they participate in the politics, that is same people and they circulate themselves over and over. Between 1968 and 1992, the PC was in power, been bringing a lot of people from the SLPP, and most of them in hold top ministerial positions. Some been minister throughout that period, and then even go to the level of being vice president. But today, these people want to put the blame only on APC. For who that they think rationally go on for us. Well, if APC been they do all this wrong, why is it that una been take part in that government that length of time una not resign? Because we get example. The small look. When Ian Shaka Stevens not be meet up on the issue of which one of the two Chinas then for support, that is mainland China, which they call China, and that island where they call People's Republic of China, where they call today Taiwan. Desmond Luke want to support Taiwan. Shaka Stevens say we for support mainland China because by then the whole world been they move towards supporting mainland China. And she said this no go work. And for Kinoka annul a system, he resigned. He resigned as foreign minister. He left the government. He went back to his practice as a lawyer. According to what people then say, because me not been dead, then say Pasheki go the even term to the small looking papa with the letter I go tell and say, you pikin don't resign or what you do am. That's what they say. Me not been dead. But I know say Shaka Stevens been get a good relationship with the Luke family. That's one example of somebody where you go say if then they say now politicians mess Sierra Leone, you go pull and say no, that small look no mix. Other examples then they will be resign, but when they resign, then go back, then go form a political party with them with Chaka Stevens and party being get for cross. Later, it lead to treason trial, death, and this and that. That was not good, and it will never be good. If a people therefore live together as a country, then therefore respect the political opinion of each other. It no matter if this person is SLPP, then they na APC. If this na APC, then they na SLPP. One of the fundamental rules of human rights say you for respect the other person in religious, in political, and other opinions. And that fundamental principle there, it is in most constitutions or not, it is in most legal instruments them wouldn't they make, international as well as national. But two sides alien don't reach now, where we don't take this political opinion, we don't make them into a taboo. Person not for belong to a political party, it will be the enemy of the next one. We really get for sit down and ask ourselves. We don't stop for thinking as Sierra Leone. If we don't stop for think, if we sleep, if not tramadol or any kind of drug, then they put in the water people, then they drink there. Let them wake up. Then wake up. Because you cannot have just one opinion in a country. Nobody not get the God-given right for impose on other people how they for think, how they for be. Nothing you get us right. Now for make we agree say this na the standards wey they set. Ethically and morally, nobody not for do this, nobody not for do that, so that we all go be able to tolerate each other. But all them hear what they talk so, we don't throw away them. The only thing that makes sense to the Sierra Leonean right now would I get boku paper for shame? Would I not get boku paper for shame? By paper, I mean money. One thing I think we all for begin understand that there is a difference between wealth and money. I will repeat them. One thing the Sierra Leonean need for begin understand is that there is a difference between wealth and money. And then two things here, then they meet at a particular point, but not to the same. And when you get a society, outside people then put one, which is money, over the ability to create wealth in the society, that society they rotten. Now get in Sierra Leone. We don't take a medium of exchange, what they call money, we put them over the values them, we for allow we for create wealth. I make poverty there with we. I will repeat this. We don't take the values, we for allow we for work together, because wealth to one person they create them. Money, one person can see if I keep get amboku in the shape. He can decide for sell drugs. He get amboku in the shape. All money, at least he get money, but he not get wealth. You can have all that drug money, but you are not wealthy because in your mentality, there is no wealth. In your ability to work with people, there is no wealth. Wealth is created. And wealth, now a natural thing where they exist, but you get forget the mental and spiritual capacity for creating. Not money, that wealth. Money, now a medium for help you for create wealth. Several things then they where they use for create wealth. One, the idea you sense. You forget the idea, you look at them, you say, okay, this go work, this go bring people then together in terms of who that go can help for make this idea concrete. This go bring people then together in terms of who that go buy the idea if we make goods from them, or who that go buy the idea if we make services from them. When you do that, and people then sustain that process for buy and sell the idea, now the same wealth they create. Total the money. We get people that will get money in Sierra Leone, but they cannot create wealth because they don't know how to. They don't. Wealth is a sustained process where they go over time. Money, like a medium of exchange where they use. That is the difference there. One, the most important thing, if you get all the money, then you not get trust in the society. You not get trust in the community. Then you cannot create wealth. Because wealth, trust, now the currency where they create wealth. Trust are the currency where they create wealth. And inside this currency, they. Now the currency where everybody in the community coming together, believing in each other, working with each other, tolerating each other, now they create trust. When all the people in the community come together, they believe in each other, they respect each other, they work with each other, then you build trust. And when trust they are able to create wealth. Wealth not a magic, a process where they come out of we interaction, spiritual as well as physical. Even in the home, when man and woman they, if they not trust each other, that home not they go before. If they trust each other, they will start as penniless people. Over time, then they grow into comfortable people. And some, even with some extra skills and ideas, then they become wealthy. Then go create something where then they left for them, picking them. I will give you now one example. We get one bakery in a salon. I think a name where Lion. Yes, I think I the name that if I'm not forgotten, the Lion Bakery. Na King Tom, them been there. I don't know if they're still there. Lion Bakery, na a family business. We start from nothing. From the terror, been they go school, Lion Bakery be don't they exist. And we get shop somewhere around Chaka Stevens Street by Liverpool Street area. I be a famous bakery because the family who been the run them, then build the trust with the need from society. You want to employ, then give them the trust with the need for make them work willingly for the company. I'm sure that bakery still they run because I remember the last time I go Sierra Leone 2015, 2016, I buy bread when I'm from Lion Bakery. This is what trust does in society. This is what trust does to create wealth. This is what we have failed to do as a people in Sierra Leone. The simple things for do, will not they do them. Instead, they pass around, they backbite, they congosa, they lie, they deceive, and do all the things that for make will not go before. The two major groups we call themselves political parties. Whether them for carry the greatest moral obligation for institute trust in the society. And then they do all the things for destroy trust. Then don't do until right now. Then two parties, then they in serious disarray. Well, no man, SLPP, they don't do the convention. It's not okay. A Pantapi, okay. It's not okay. There are undercurrents. We don't see after convention, they call meeting, hint, talk, come here and there. In a group where people have trust, in a group where people share equal respect for each other. On another good team up in a public, they pull in power on ourselves. Yes, natural, we mortal man, we always get conflict, we must get something when I draw. But for go public, they go and pull it, they go and this, that. They tell you, see, it's not okay. And it is not okay to be not okay in Sierra Leone. In some other cases, it may be okay not to be okay. But in Sierra Leone, after all the trauma people that don't go through, after all the trauma people they inherit from an unnecessary inhumane act 600 years ago, we take today a print on we DNA them. For make at this material moment, a short while after we come up with one of the most stupid war, people and they create situation for make we go into another conflict. It's not okay. It's not okay. Only a fool can say it's okay. And anybody who blindfoldly say, okay, what in they be in Sierra Leone, you don't really understand what in they go on. Because one of the things what they fail to understand is that the stage where country they so now, it's exposed to a lot of rogue factors. It's no longer a secret to Sierra Leoneans say, we country don't turn drug hub. And they bring drug from all over the world, from India and Pakistan, from South America. We go even the end of the pool of Europe, then carry and go there. It's not okay. If you think it's okay, then something is wrong with your mentality. Honestly, it's not okay. And we'll sit down every day. We're on social media talking a lot about politics. It's politics that we talk about. Is it really politics or is it trauma, messages would they send? Are we really talking politics in Sierra Leone or are we talking trauma? It's one thing I don't see. The Sierra Leonean, first and foremost, they talk to each other, they talk at each other. As you write something so, 10, 15, 20 people without reading and understanding it, as long as they don't get an idea in their head about who that they write. Because in Sierra Leone, they classify each other easily. If you're not there with the proper, you want to write something, the moment you write another PC, we're suffering from a kind of trauma. We'll get for sit down and ask ourselves, where are we headed for? Because it's not okay. Within the two political movements, people and they make all this noise for the cause and effect on social media. There are deep undercurrents of division. There are deep undercurrents of implosion taking place. And yet people sit and wait until with God. God will mark all this Alakina Sierra Leone. Why this same God not a mark all the Alaki for other people? Why this same God they make Europe better? Why this same God make America a place to serve they want to go for government income? Is that God so partial and unfair to us? No. And the way they think. And the way they think with perceptions, with beliefs. And then our problem. And we share ourselves into clubs, call them political party, thinking that, oh, when I belong to this club, I have the right to think better and to act better, and therefore I have the right to own what I wish. This is what our so-called political parties have brought us to. And in the process, they not take care of the enshrined principles of a state. Rather about sovereignty. Where is the sovereignty in a country that is so porous as Sierra Leone, where any Jack and Tom the kind side the country do I elect? West border, even and the scope of we resources, diamonds, cacao, coffee, etc. within the very borders of the country, we get elements that only come from different parts of the world, where the very nature, the very activities are suspicious. And it's exposed of potential terrorism. That even people that take drugs from other countries bring into a country in an act of terrorism. The fact that they pass drugs through a country for go other country in an act of terrorism. We sit down, we relax. Everybody there in corner. Hey, me na APC, hey, me na SLPP, hey, me na how they call her. Are we really thinking in Sierra Leone? Do we understand what it means to be a country? Do we understand what it means to govern ourselves in Sierra Leone? Or is it because some of us are having money in our pockets? We think, oh, it's well and good. It's not well and good. Yeah, sure enough, I can make $1 billion from rogue finances. If you allow the situation for deteriorate, you won't come overseas. That you $1 billion, you dey consume them in the twinkle of an eye. We didn't see them before. And we see them with several politicians from Africa. They misuse and abuse their country resources, then take the money and keep overseas, then can they run after them, then go overseas, and most of them are today poor and hired overseas. Yes. Are we not capable of learning? In Sierra Leone, we know people them. We in the 80s, they were everything. They like today, we can meet some of the Obaya who know how they see them. Are we not capable of learning? Or do we think that's the way life should be? That you go calm, you do unlucky, the way you suffer all my life, oh, God don't pay them. That's not the way life should be. If life was that way, then countries are how they run can and no turn out and turn so. Yes. In countries how they run calm for can seek refuge, then people then sit down, they plan, then say, let us build trust. And they build trust, then after that, they say, let's build equity and equality. Then build them. Now, make even when you did empathy, I like you not poor man. As long as you build trust in the system they allow you forget the basic good life. You can be a cleaner. You can be who they collect dirty, but because you they go according to the systems, the requirement, you have trust. You treat others with respect and with equality and equity. You can go into any bank, they give you a loan within your income, you buy your car, you buy your house, you buy this, you buy you that, you live your life, you not get no much problem. Is it impossible for us to do in Africa? No. Is it impossible for us to do in Sierra Leone? No. What is impossible with us is our ability to build trust, to build equity, and to build equality. What is wrong with us is our ability to shed away the energies of hate and impunity. That's what is wrong with us. Thou can sit down, they blame. Don't you which man responsible for we are like you? Not to them. If Whitman be responsible for we are lucky, they know they allow in the country. 1, 2, Whitman been go to Asia. They colonize all Asia. As a matter of fact, In the 70s, late 60s and 70s, when Sierra Leone was having it nice, we had it nice. I was there. I enjoyed it. When Sierra Leone was having it nice, Vietnam been the suffer. They dismantled Vietnam. Foreign forces, starting with the French and later the Americans, then dismantled Vietnam. But because the people then get their sense in their head, after all the crisis, then don't compose themselves. They like today, Vietnam is a functional economy far away from Sierra Leone, hundreds of miles away from Sierra Leone. In 1961, when we had independence, Malaysia was like any upline place where you go think of. They attend with independence. Some people say becoming of Bidele and say that from we Malaysia can take Masanke seedlings, then go with them, then go begin grow them. They like today, Malaysia are number one for oil palm products in the world. Why did they do it that way? Because the society get trust, the society get equality, the society get equity, and not a society where hypocrite Congo say and lie there. When people learn, we see they don't turn somebody the best they can do with their life, Congo say, lie, and thief. We have to sit down and say, let we think over a lot of things. If we don't, the situation will boil. And with especially so, the mentality we don't develop in that society, where people have believe say, you can grow rich by magic overnight. You can grow rich by joining politics. You can grow rich by selling drugs. You can grow rich by involving in money laundering. If this continues, the disparity we get for create, the first thing will be the result is the dog eat dog mentality, they transform into dog kill dog mentality. I will repeat that. If we sit down, what don't begin as alone so, we will not try for look at how we go end them. Because it's not impossible to change. It's only a problem when most of us, if not all of us, are not ready to change. It's not possible that everybody change. But if you get a country of 8 million people, if 3 million people say, okay, will they change for do the right thing? That 3 million, because they are united and then get a vision, then they will take over and control the rest. Because good always overcomes evil. Evil, they only thrive when good goes to sleep. Good not to numbers. Good na process. Evil not to numbers, na process. It's up to us to accept or not to accept those processes. If the greater percentage accept a process, that's what obtains or that's what happens in society. Everything they go wrong now with society, so now because a few don't gaslight the people, let them believe, say, this is normal. It is not normal. It is not. If you don't gaslight the people, let them believe, say, oh, we are hopeless. We cannot do anything to change our circumstance. That's a great psychological lie they have told to you, Sierra Leoneans. It is possible for us to reverse what is going wrong. But it takes a few, maybe we not even need up to 200 people. Put team up and say, okay, from now on, let us guide this process and make sure, say, it's stop for why they go so. From now on, let us create a platform or let us create platforms where we'll go sensitize with people. Let them know, say, this process not right. They'll get programs in Mende, Timney, Loko, Fula, Mende. Let people then know, say, this not right. Every human being they think. When people then begin get their messages here, then they see don't think. Gradually, this change would happen. It will not happen overnight. It's not possible because magic not exist. Magic is created. It's created by our thoughts. When we think properly, the magic happens. When we not think properly, the magic not happen. And process will don't take 64 plus years for become part of a culture. Because what you now get in Sierra Leone, now the culture of hopelessness, culture of thinking and doing evil, culture of preaching hate, culture of using impunity. We can change all that day. But we need forget a few set of people. We go change themselves first and foremost. You cannot be somebody who they Congo say and lie. You want to change other people. You cannot be somebody who ready for thief the next man in cup. You want to change other people. It gotta work. We need people them who go sit down and examine themselves and say, okay, let us do this thing because it is right. Even though we may not benefit from it directly, but let us build the foundation so that future generations will enjoy this thing. This is what great people have done passing here. Jesus Christ, the tell we been there on earth. We've been the preaching message. He not preach for himself, he preach for future generations. Now I make today a famous. The Prophet Muhammad, when he been there, he not preach for himself, he preach for future generations. Now I make the elect today a famous. But look all the political systems where now sustainable systems. The people that we start them. You had a ranking called founding fathers. They never enjoyed the benefit of what they did. But today, the generation today, they enjoy them. Even America, as it is now, they see all the crises where they go on. But one thing to make America not collapse up till now is that the founding fathers, they be able to see them foresee a lot of things. Then create checks and balances. Then create ways and means for make if anybody come with in criminality or whatever, there'll be checks. Now still they keep America going. We can do the same in Sierra Leone if we are ready. We can do the same in Sierra Leone if we are ready. But it's up to us. Not to by force. It's up to us. Some of us are saying it. We may be ready to advise how to do it. But it's up to Sierra Leoneans to be ready to say, let us do it this way. And it will be in the best interest of the country for Meku Sidona and begin say, what can we do? How can we do it? Who do we look up to for advice so that we can do it right, so that posterity will judge us? They like today, we get some of our relatives, them. Well, now very, very fumble them. And they very, very fumble them. We sell them, people learn to slavery. Rather than we accept the truth, say, now we are at fault. We say, no, Americans came and took us into slavery. Europeans came and took us into slavery. Yes, they did. They did. Ourselves, we say, not so treat by we. Who prayed, who bid, not so they don't they. That mentality wouldn't be used 600 years ago for sell people into slavery. Now still they use today. Now we have a state that is non-functional, a state where a small set of people don't capture, then they misuse for waiting, for make money can at them pocket. People that were 6-7 years ago not be able to buy a pair of shoes. Today they are building 5-10 houses and they feel proud. The process of destruction is going on. If you think building houses or buying expensive cars is development, especially so when the materials where they use for build your house or the car where they buy, not to inside the country, then they produce them, not to they import. You they make other man rich, you they are lucky. For every house where them build in Sierra Leone, we know to local materials they use. Now some other industry somewhere they gently. For every expensive car imported into Sierra Leone, now some other country in economy they profit. The workers they work, then they pay income tax. Una sit down, they buy, they make Kamademba. And I think saying a progress. That's not progress. Honestly, that's not progress. And that's nobody. Because all the people that know say everybody get a right to a house. If I feel to have a house in Sierra Leone, I would have it. Not any here say I would have it. But the fact of the situation is, are we really doing things the way they should be done? Are we doing things in the interest of sustainable overall development? If you ask me, I will tell you, say no. We are doing things in the interest of sustainable overall collapse. What do you therefore begin take note of? If we not begin take note of that yet. All this cry and holler to international community they can't done, yeah? That free money international community been they give away. Then they'll begin to tell them gradually. International aid is going down. If Africa no wake up, if Sierra Leone no wake up, the country will be exposed to people with dirty money. They don't start. They don't start. They don't start. It's not out of fear, but I don't want to slander any institution, but I know there are companies and businesses in Sierra Leone where they deal with dirty money. I know them by name, I know the people that were involved. I don't want to start an unnecessary traction because I'm not here to preach hate and to preach division. I'm here to preach what we can do to make us united, to make us ethical, to make us respect each other. Even the noise about Koidu Holdings, I know the reason behind it. It's not in the interest of Sierra Leone. All of this happen because we the people them we let all the sleep. We say God day. Yes, God day. God day. God ready for help you, but you get for think for help yourself first. Because in you is the power of God, the ability to think, the ability to recognize that you exist. I make when they ask you, what is your name? The first word will come on, I don't care which language. Now, I am. I am is printed in our DNAs. It's the mark of God in our DNA. It's an identity in each of us. So the nature of God is in each of us. The energy of God is in each of us. And we have the free will to use or misuse it or abuse it. In Sierra Leone, we dey abuse them. So let us stop blaming. Let's wake up and begin understand, say, we are as we think, we become as we think. Our environment is a reflection of how we think. Our condition is a reflection of how we think. Our goods and services are reflections of how we think. Every society gets a cultural angle to wetin dem dey produce. Ghana, they produce kente. Sierra Leone, they produce country clothes. In the northern part, then they produce ronco. But when you look all the three things here, now the same material then they use for produce them, but they give them different name and maybe different style, because that's where our culture comes in. The way they think now in our culture. How we think, now so they develop. How we think, now so poverty they deal with it. So it's time we begin to understand this and begin to think and act properly in Sierra Leone. If we don't, well, now we begin ready for the worst because it's coming. Then two political parties will have up, then don't reach the climax, because these are two institutions that have been consumed by hate. These are two institutions that have been consumed by ego. Let me make one point clear now. Religion tell we say Adam and Eve, Adama and Mawa, as the Muslims call them, been commit sin. We never sit down for understand the kind sin we then commit. The sin of Adam and Eve, or Adama and Hawa, na abuse of the ego. I make them say the fruit of knowledge. The fruit of knowledge is the ego. The ego are the first sin where they are allow we for identify, say we exist. Now I allow we for identify, say we get that power of existence. Now they allow we for think and create or become part of the creation process. When we use them properly, it help we for go before, it help society for go before. When we misuse them, it land we into trouble. A lot of people there, we don't land into trouble when their ego and land them into trouble. Some man they go jail, some man they lose everything we get because of ego. When you abuse the ego, they only give you problem, it creates problem for other people around you. Abuse of ego, no problem necessarily. A few people, especially those who are at the top of society, where things say they're sabi, then they abuse the ego. So it's time we begin for sit down and look at them things here. Think. We can change everything that is wrong in Sierra Leone. But we get for sit down quietly and think. We get for take ourselves out of that emotional state for cause and effect. We get for take ourselves out of that emotional state for see the next man as the enemy. Especially in a situation where we are all family. It no matter what language you dey talk, we all na family in Sierra Leone. We work It look big, but it's not big because it get for be a job undertaken individually by each of us for ensuring we get the correct spiritual condition, we get this correct emotional condition to make we come together, sit down and talk to each other, listen to each other, accept each other, tolerate each other, and say, okay, Lord, do this. We build a trust. Nobody know they say, Lord, do this. They underneath the pool. What in a man called Morka. We not go there together. Some people they underneath the pool, then they do a team and the man they call Jukuku Jumuku. You know they walk. You know go walk. Because every man, every woman get a right for dinner. And when you create conditions where they limit the rights of people, you limit the access of people, expect reaction. There are two parties here. Then internally, don't limit. Now then they're on the path of implosion. If the two parties, where almost everybody they rally around, because in Sierra Leone politics is like religion. You meet your papa, so if I be. Me, I met my grandpa as founding member of SLPP. Me not to SLPP. So me with politics not to religion for me. My namesake Boy Jalo. The only Boy Jalo where I attend both school. Now SLPP founding member, but me not to SLPP. I don't hate SLPP. I don't get anything against SLPP. I just not believe in the ideology. APC, there was a time I believed in the APC. Now, the party no get ideology, so I don't believe in them. I don't mix. That's me. I have a mind of my own. Me to pursue the whole by no secret go. I don't mix. I no can pass here or make the whole me by no they go. I don't mix pan. What me let granny be they call dogs famble. One day before, now all day be and quack. Now, enough of it. So we are humans. We have the power of God in us. We think. We exist and for user at all times. That don't mean say we therefore say, okay, no, yeah, we should have leaders, but the leader not for be somebody who for mislead. If for be somebody who for team up and listen to everybody and say, okay, this is the collective idea, this is how we do it, because it's going to benefit all of us. That's what Sierra Leone needs. That's what they do in Scandinavia, where you read and they talk about social democracy. Even baby, in feelings matter. Now this part of the world, baby, we don't be talking feelings matter. Now I make ya, then they give leave to the daddy. When you have born Pekin, you the man, you entitled to 6 weeks leave with pay. Because them believe say that period where they spend with that Pekin, on how they get emotional bond. So the beginning feelings of matter na this part. In Africa, you see man, they take small picking, they beat them. We have to change this. If we want to make progress, we have to change all what's in the inside. If we not change them, we go they run round circle. But nothing not they change. So they will see a piece all man mean they be lost. When how they don't come on a power SLPP, all man they be lost. APC those boku don't well, boku they don't sell. And the same thing ever happen. Why do we have to be going round and around the same circle? Are we so dumb? Oh, not for able to understand, say, now we self with they do, now self-sabotage with the pan. I will take a few minutes break and I can't open the line for telephone calls. Do ya? I want to feel free to call. This is for all of us, not for Boy Jalo. If not for me, I Yes. Sorry about that break. We're back. I've been go take some water for drink. As I say, the lines are now open. Una feel free for call. We'll get a conversation. This is not about Boy Jalo, it's about Sierra Leone. Why should they wait for make people call? Let me just go on with another side of we ventures. I know say a lot of people don't begin hear about the progressives. And we don't hear diverse opinions about who the progressives then be. Well, we not get right for stop anybody opinion. We not get right for deny anybody opinion because doing that they go against the human rights universal convention on human rights. Everybody gets a right to opinion. But nobody not get a right for insult other people's opinion. So now we take note of that. The progressives are a group of Sierra Leoneans who say we're not happy with watching the go on in Sierra Leone. That's because we want to go sit down as ministers or sit down at power. Like Emil, they talk and again, wish will be part of any political system in Sierra Leone. Whatever I get for do for Sierra Leone now, it will be in terms of being an advisor as to how for do things, and that not go be partisan. I'm not going to attach myself to any political party. I'll do it for Sierra Leone. The progressives We don't assess what's in the gun Sierra Leone, and we don't see say what happened in the last election. If we not try to get away, let that correct itself. It will become a convention, it will become a precedence, it will later become a culture. From 1961, people let me they do half thing them where now it don't be a culture, we don't lead with to this confusion. We believe so we don't reach the point where certain Sierra Leoneans for take action, for stop them here for happen. Simply because the very constitution where the country get, it allows citizens to take the action then they. Chapter 2, Section 5, A and B clearly states say, we the citizens get a right for all we governments are accountable. Section 5B in fact say, sovereignty belongs to the people and the authority of the government is derived from that sovereignty and this constitution. Everything become very, very legal is that part of the constitution, like several other parts, nobody they just come and change our elect. Nobody not get right for do I elect with that part of the constitution because now part of what they call the entrenched clauses of the constitution. Anything whereby law and say entrench, it means say for change them, you just grab it. Say, I don't change this so. You not even write a bill or a paper carry and go parliament. Say, but not change this. For change them, you get to follow a procedure on a parliament where 2/3 of the members of parliament they vote. Yes, law change. Let's say, for example, you get 9 members of parliament. For make you get the yes vote, 6 for vote in favor. Say yes. Then after you don't get that 6, you get to create a national election where they put 2 ballots, yes and no. They tell the people and say, we want to change this law, this part of the constitution. If the people and the majority vote yes, then that means you can change them. But if the majority of the people say no, even if Parliament 6 don't vote yes, then it cannot be changed because sovereignty belongs to the people, not to the politician. But in Sierra Leone, they don't gaslight people, they don't deceive people. People then believe saying that the politicians and get the power. They don't have the power. They are honorable men, supposedly honorable men and women, paid monies to work on your behalf. Why do we call them honorable? We call them honorable because we believe, say, once they do public service, then for be example for the public in terms of ethics, morals, and the ability for abide by the law. But what are we seeing in Sierra Leone? Dishonorable people passing as honorable. And then they broke all the law, and then they do all things wrong, but the one they will call the honorable. They are not. Well, I feel maybe one or two amongst them may be honorable because not all man will be the same. But the majority dishonorable. So we get to understand this. That the progressives, not a group of a open to every political party for come on board. But we can't dictate to we. If you be sabi, no, before don't do. Please. If you be sabi, no time, you before don't do it yourself. But if you want color work, your ideas welcome, but don't come and dictate to us. The dictatorship will they try for put under control. So now they accommodate dictators. The second thing, this ability for tag things then as Sierra Leone without properly understanding them. I think now the social media and I know AI, I don't begin make we don't they suffer from fatigue. People can just accept any word, they know they find out the meaning, then go all over the place circulating it, attaching it to persons and circumstances. And progressives, when they talk about electoral justice. Electoral justice is an enshrined human right embedded in the Universal Declaration on Human Rights that was passed in the United Nations in 1949 by the wife of the then American president, Theodore Roosevelt. The woman was called Eleanor Roosevelt. She read that document on the platform of the United Nations. And she was the person who said, small minds discuss people, mediocres discuss events, but great minds discuss issues. That saying by Eleanor Roosevelt, it applied to a lot of we in Sierra Leone. We laziness. Nobody is born stupid. We all get equal ability for doing correct and think properly. But we are lazy, so we not think. We want everything done for us. So now for discuss people and events. Go to social media. What you read is about people and events. All man they talk. Let us begin to discuss issues. Let us begin to think. What is the issue? How can we approach it? What is this challenge? How can we solve it? What do we do? Who do we bring along to solve it? The issue at hand is not about a person. We don't make them. Because the minute you talk about electoral justice, it's not about a person. The issue at hand is all international laws were connected with human rights and electoral practices. Then clear say nobody no gets right for conduct an election or elect. All international laws say for an election for be accepted as credible, it will be free, it will be fair, it will be transparent. The Constitution dictates that in several sections. The Electoral Law, the Public Elections Act of 2022, is clear about transparency, fairness, and the freeness of the elections. So electoral justice is an entrenched part of what Sierra Leone is. It's not about Samuel Kamai. I may have been the one, okay, preaching it. Fine. Fine. It's his right to preach it. But it's not about him. He did not start it. And he will not end it. After him, electoral justice will continue. And electoral justice is about conducting elections that will satisfy the majority of the electorate, not a group of people or one particular sector of the country. When that happens, there is no electoral justice. So dear, things are clear. A third thing I go come with Naya is about democracy. Democracy is not about a political party. Democracy is not about political persons. Democracy is not about elections. All of these are part of democracy. Democracy is a social behavior. Democracy is a way of life. Democracy is a level where they show how civilized we are. I process, what they say level, where they show the level of civilization we'll get. The better the democracy, the more civilized we are. The less the democracy, the more uncivilized we are. Because democracy is all about fair play and tolerance. Civilization, they circulate around them towards them there. When a group of people, they live together, they're able to use them two conditions there. Then they treat themselves fairly. Then they tolerate each other. Then they are civilized. It no matter if then they were for me, then they inside Gola forest, or then they were for me, then they Amazon forest, or then they wear the best suit, then they Europe. If there are two things, then they no day within that community, within that society, then they are not civilized. So civilization is not about you find dress, you find clothes, your ability for talk somebody else in language. It's behavior. And democracy is a behavior. I make them say, for the people, by the people, to the people. And the word government does not indicate only elections. It means continued coexistence. What do they call government? Now, the ability of people for coexist with certain rules, with certain ethical standards, with certain moral standards, with certain laws. When they're able to coexist within the things, then tolerate, then be fair to each other, then you can say they are civilized people under a government. If they don't have any of these qualities, they are not civilized and there is no government. If you have people in front doing as they like, then it's not a government. It's a gangster cartel where they rule by impunity. Mr. King Ibrahim, welcome. He said, I'll give you an example of free and fair, transparent election in Sierra Leone. Well, do you answer that question? Please answer it. And for you to be able to answer it, I may want to ask, how old are you? Because I saw independence, I attended independence as a boy in the second class. They made me a train from Songo. We come outside today, and they call Wallace Johnson Street outside our bus station there. That ended up in the last point on the railway. From there, we load another double-decker bus like the out in England. Then we left we outside the stadium. This for them, they call the recre. We did the whole day. And give it food and give it drinks. Then opposite to side we building been there. Then we make what they call fun fair. Then entertainment thing we get our wheel, etc., etc. We saw all of that. Then give we cup and plate. We get Union Jack and Salon flag. The train coach, then get green, white, and blue and Union Jack. We saw it. So if you're asking about example of free and fair elections, first and foremost, I would want you to answer that question within the context where you don't see Amnas alone. And secondly, maybe your age would assist you to answer it properly. Because as far as me concerned, I have never seen free and fair election in Sierra Leone. I've never seen democracy in Sierra Leone. You say I have social media hallucinations. Thank God for that, Mr. Brimer. You know, it's a big book decay. But my hallucinations don't benefit a lot of people in this world. You are welcome to have your opinion, yeah? The only thing left, of course, something a big like the same age like you, Papa, money, so no can't cost me, yeah? Now I take care of myself, now I make I still get this face. Anyway, coming back to the topic. If we are to see Sierra Leone change the way we want it, the Sierra Leonean for put aside all levels of pettiness, like I'm seeing with my brother here, Kini Brahima. We for put aside pettiness. We for put aside sectoral mentality. Because you can be a Brahma born in Thailand, you can be a Brahma Kane or Kane Brahma born in Pujong, but that man, when name Kaloko na the north, na Ifambu. You can be a Ture or a Tarawali born in Kailaun and Kono. That Ture and Tarawali na the north na Ifambu. Una get the same DNA. Really for the sectorized reserve because of tribe or language or political affiliation. In a civilized world, everybody gets a right to a political opinion. Everybody. It's an entrenched part of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights that was passed in the United Nations in 1949. So for can begin the insult about hallucination, you are getting it wrong, mister. But I use you always as an example for educate people because me know emotionally deranged. Mr. Brahma, you're talking about extortion. Is extort whom? Do you know the kind of job I do? You think I depend on other people's money? Do you know the skills I have? Is that for mass break, oh, paddy? Is that for mass break? You don't own the world. Please find out. Your president that you praise so much as cousin of God, he knows me personally. And I'm sure he will not abuse me. So must you break, yeah? Otherwise, I will just blacklist you from this. I will encourage you, Leilan. Otherwise, I can blacklist you. You go there write you nonsense and not the sham. But I will encourage you, Leilan. I want to go into discussion. I'll teach you what you don't know. Julius Maadabi, I would have taught him at the boat school in 1979-80 if I had gone to teach there. Because the man who was principal there, who is now Paramount Chief Sewa, wanted me to go and teach there. I refused. I said, no, I get other thing for do na freedom, lack and freedom. So stop this, yeah? Please, behave yourself. Listen and learn. Be a decent person, at least for once. If it is smoke within the above you, your mental capacity, stop that. Everybody get a right for do what you want to, as long as you not go against the law. What is your problem with that? Do you want to kill somebody for that? Try to be civilized, please. You are not. Try to be a civilized person. You are not. And it's unfortunate you say the Australia. I don't know what really Australia don't do for you all this time we did it. Because Australia is a civilized society. Anyway, are we not having calls today? Okay. I think I've done 1 hour 25 minutes. Very soon I'll take my leave and I'll come back on Friday.
What happens when truth becomes a tool, not a right? In Sierra Leone, confusion isn't just chaos, it's strategy. When leaders deny what you live, gaslight your reality, and rewrite the past, who really holds the power? Tonight on Truth Unmasked, we expose the tactics, we name the games, we decode the lies. Don't just believe what they tell you. Ask why they